welcome to another green marble crochet tutorial. For this tutorial we're going to be making another fairly experimental design, but this one's going to take a fraction of the time that the last one took, and we're going to be using some different materials as well. So for this design I'm going to be using some of this beautiful lace that I found at the department store in the city. So yes, I'm using that. It's gorgeous, I love it. And I'm going to be pairing that with this really lovely, I think it's a cotton blend, yeah. 53% cotton, 47% linen, yeah, so we're going to be using that. This one. I'll show you the label properly when we get started. Alright, and for this I'm going to use a 3mm hook this time because it's a fairly fine yarn, and yeah, I just want it to be a bit more close knit or crocheted, you know. Anyway, yeah, there's not a lot to it. So basically what I'm thinking is this is going to be a sort of summer transitioning into autumn design, but it can still be, you know, sort of a summer design as well. But what I was thinking was it's something you can wear like a nice sort of plain shirt underneath, perhaps. I don't know. That's the vision that I've got in my head, so never know. I'll give it a try, maybe post a picture if I do. Don't know, maybe, yeah. And it's going to be lovely, yes. So it's going to be really simple. It's just going to be, basically there's going to be this at the top, and then hopefully this at the bottom as well, and we're going to be crocheting the lace into the design. So that's what I'm thinking. And it's going to have straps at the back. So all will be revealed once we get started. Plus you'll already have seen pictures, so that's good as well. Yeah. Not much to say, we should just get straight into making it. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you haven't subscribed, but you would like to subscribe to join me for some more tutorials, I would love to have you join me. And thank you to my patrons. I love and appreciate you, and I'm eternally grateful for your support. It's really awesome. Thank you for believing in me. And thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for joining me. And we should just get started. Alright, so to begin, I've had to reevaluate some of the decisions that I made about how I was going to make this poor little top, but that's okay because I'm still going to put the lace on. We're just not going to be crocheting it into the top, we're going to be sewing it on at the end. That's going to be fine. Also, I need to be really careful because I've only got 2 skeins of this particular yarn, and each skein is 50 grams, so there's not a lot to work with. And I want it to be fairly lengthy at the front. So let's begin. We're going to put the lace, the gorgeous lace, to the side for the moment. We're not going to work with that just yet. What we're going to do first is we're going to have a look at the label, because I didn't show the label in my last tutorial. I should have done that. So this is what we're working with. It's made in Spain, and it's this brand. And here are, so you can wash it in the machine, and it's made of cotton and linen. And these are the tiny details. If you need to have more time to look at this, please pause. Please pause the video. So it looks like for a 10 by 10 centimeter, it's 22 by 29. Okay, and it looks like that's with knitting needles 3.5. But obviously it's good because I'm using the 3mm hook, and that's what it says to use. So that's really good. All right, now what we're going to do to begin with, we're going to find the end of our yarn, just get straight into it, and we're going to make a slip knot. So to make a slip knot, it's just like this, and then finding our hook. So I'm using my 3mm, yes. I'm going to adjust that knot to the hook, and I'm going to chain a length. Now this length is going to sort of sit around, well, sit at the top of my chest, and I also want it to reach sort of just beneath my arms on each side. So I will chain that length, and chain stitch is yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and that's chain stitch. So I'm going to chain my length, and I'll come back when I've done that and we'll talk about what to do next. Alright, now here is my length of chain. So I've chained 65, and what you're doing is you're chaining a length that sort of sits just above the bust area, and each end sort of wraps just beneath your armpit. So it sort of sits comfortably just there, and that's what we're working with for the front of this top. So what we do from here is we chain an extra 2, so 1 and 2, and those are going to be the turning stitches. So just to start with, what we do is we put a double crochet, which is yarn over, and we're skipping those first 2 stitches from the hook, so that one, and we're going to put a double crochet into the 3rd chain along. So insert hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and that's a double crochet. So into the next stitch along, another double crochet, yarn over, insert hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's double crochets, and we're going to be doing those into every chain all the way back to the beginning of the chain. And once we get to that point, I will meet back up with you again, and we're going to talk about what we're going to do next. Alright, now here I am, and I'm about to put my final double crochet into that stitch right there at the end, or the beginning chain. So there's that final double crochet. Now what we do from here is we chain up 2, so 1, 2, turn the work, and we always put your first double crochet or your first stitch into the stitch right there beneath that chain. So there's the chain, and there's a stitch right beneath it. I don't know if you can see that. Yes. So that one just there, through that stitch, first double crochet. So 1, and we're just going to be putting double crochets into each stitch all the way back to the other end. So it helps occasionally if you count the stitches that you've got, just to make sure you haven't dropped any or picked any up along the way. Alright, now see, I just want to show you this. To go in through the stitch, you go in beneath both parts of that V on top of the stitch. See that? Go in beneath that, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Just wanted to show you that, just in case you needed to see it in a bit more depth, you know? Alright, so we're going to do that, back to the other end. And then once you've done that, you're going to once again chain up 2, turn the work, and double crochets back in the other direction. And you're going to keep doing that until the length of your top is something that you're happy with. For me, it's not going to be too long. It's going to be, you know, sort of average singlet length. But that's different for everyone, so I don't know. I suppose we'll find out. Yes, I'm going to do that. And then once we have crocheted our tops to the lengths that we're happy with, we're going to meet back up. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do next. Okay, see you soon. Okay, now that I've crocheted the front to a length that I'm happy with, what we're going to do next is we're going to, straight from our last stitch, I'm going to focus the camera, and chain up 1. Now what we're going to do is we're going to turn to the side of the work, and we're going to be putting single crochets into the double crochet row ends. So we put 2 single crochets into each row end, and what I do is, you can see there's like 2 sort of spaces for the row end. There's that little one up the top, and then that bigger one next to it. So then again on the next row end, that space, and then there's a bigger space next to it. So we've chained up 1. We put our first single crochet into that little space just there, like that, and then 1 single crochet next to it into the bigger space. Then again into the next one, there's that little space just there. Hope you can see that. And then we go into another single crochet into the bigger space next to it. And again, moving on. So yeah, there's 2 spaces for each row end, and we're going to be putting 2 single crochets into each row end, 1 for each space. So we're going to do that all the way up the side till we get to the top corner, And we'll meet back up there and I'll show you what we're going to do next. Alright, and here are all my single crochets up the side, so that's what that's going to look like. It just gives it a neater edge, and it sort of helps you to go around the work so that you can put the straps in, and it makes it sort of continuous, you know. Alright, so now we're at the top, and what we're going to do is we're going to be putting an extra 1 single crochet into this space that we've just gone into. Oh, sorry, another single crochet into that space, and then another, so that we're just sort of turning ourselves up to the top on that corner. So there we go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to be putting single crochets into the other side of that foundation chain. So the other side of that stitch, you'll be able to see where each stitch is, and you just put your single crochet into the bottom of that to mirror it. So to mirror the double crochet anyway. So single crochets into the undersides of those stitches into the foundation chain, and you're going to do that all the way up till, so I've marked out, I've put stitch markers in where I'm going to put the straps, and you can hold it up against yourself and figure out where you want the straps to be. And so wherever you want the strap to be, just count in from the stitch on the side to how many stitches it is to where you want the strap to be, and then do it again on the other side as well, you know, it just makes sense to make them even. So that's what I've done. I've counted 16 stitches in on both sides. So that's where I want my straps to be. And now I'm going to put single crochets along this foundation chain all the way till we get to the first stitch marker. And I'm going to show you what we're going to be doing with the straps. So hang on, just once again, single crochets into the underside of that foundation chain. Just like that. See, there you go. And then moving on to the next one along, which is just there, so into the underside of that foundation chain. So there you go, just like that. And you can see they're all lined up. Alright, I'll meet back up with you soon and we'll talk about the straps. Alright, here I am, and I've put my single crochets up to the first stitch marker. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that stitch marker out and put my first single crochet into it. So that's where I'm going to be putting the first strap that I'll be doing. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be chaining a length, and I'm going to, for this one, chain a length of 300. And that might seem a lot, but for my vision for this top, I'm going to have it crisscrossing probably 3 times at the back, but then after that I want it to wrap around the waist and sort of tie up to one side. So this one's going to be 300, and then I think for the next one along I'm going to be doing 320, just so it sort of falls, like you can even it up and tie it to the side, you know what I mean, so that you can match it up to one side. You'll see at the end. We'll try it on, we'll see how it looks, and we'll do that. Now for this chain, what we do is we chain a length. So I'm chaining 300, I'm going to go away and I'm going to chain 300, and I'll meet back up with you and show you what we're going to do once we've chained that 300.